going into Game 3 now, Garen.
Right, that was the most lopsided match of the weekend, as it turned out. The Golden Lions up against the Blue Bulls at Ellis Park. And we talked about it last week, that the Lions team, not much difference really between their Currie Cup team and their Super Rugby team on paper. A lot of unknown players, very, very few Springboks, but they certainly know how to play as a team. Johan Ackerman clearly doing marvellous things as a coach there, and they sort of steamrolled the Bulls, who I thought were pretty pathetic, to be honest. Certainly didn't show up. They had no altitude issues to deal with. But and on paper, I actually think the Bulls team was perhaps the stronger team. They have a couple of current and past Springboks in their starting 15, but the Lions certainly put them to the sword, winning comfortably there. So, again, I think the Lions are my dark horse side for this year's title. They sort of know how to play together. They scrummed again really, really well. And I think the only injury concern was Marnus Bosov, who is a big key player for them, but he picked up an injury. I see he's in doubt perhaps for this weekend, so they're going to have to learn to play without him, but I think they've got enough depth to sort of cover his position at fly-off. So, again, a fantastic start for the Lions. The Bulls back to the drawing board. I'm not too sure if they're serious title contenders this year. It seems there's something going on in Pretoria, put it that way, that they're losing a lot of players and they're signing a couple of players. There's no continuity going on there, so could be a long season after the Super Rugby for them in Currie Cup this year.
Rob, last week you bet against the Lions.
I know, my one wrong call of the weekend, Jen, and it was an atrocious one as well. 41-13, wow. I mean, I went the way of the Bulls beforehand, just because I suspected that perhaps they had a little bit to prove after Super Rugby, after not making the playoffs. They're the sort of team that generally are one of the big unions in South Africa, ambitious, want to make playoffs. They missed golden opportunities to qualify, and I thought they'd come roaring back in the Currie Cup. They still had quite a few of their core players from Super Rugby, and it was a dreadfully disappointing performance from them. They just never looked in the game. I think they had a little phase early in the second half where they looked as though they might just be up for a bit of a comeback, but already the damage had been done, and the Lions then hit a second win themselves. They're a very fit and fast side, a very fast-paced side. They play a good brand of rugby with lots of sort of a really committed forward ethic, and then lots of once the game opens up a bit, they're certainly happy to run it from all angles, and they run some interesting lines. So hats off to them. I thought it was a fantastic result, and lots of thinking to do for the Bulls, who've now been beaten 3 times in a row, by the way, by the Lions, their arch rival neighbours. So in Currie Cup terms, they're taking a bit of a bruising from the Lions.